Here on Delmarva Life and around the country, there's been a lot of talk about Harriet Tubman, and for, of course, very good reason, as we celebrate the 200th birthday of a true American hero.
But even as we honor Harriet, we should remember that the story of the Underground Railroad isn't about just one superstar of a woman. There was a whole movement for freedom here on Delmarva that has hundreds of people working to help enslaved people find their way out of bondage.
And as you know, Jim Duffy of Secrets of the Eastern Shore fame is the one to tell us the story of one of the most exciting escape operations of them all. Jim, good to have you.
Good afternoon.
Glad you're here with us.
Good to be here.
So, the mad dash of the Dover 8.
Yes.
He's getting excited already.
It's a good, no, it is a good one. You know, happy endings are a wonderful thing.
That's always a good thing.
Because we're in this environment of slavery and
Right.
just really terrible things.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of, you know, real genuine risk and threat to life, but this one has a happy
This is a
ending.
good one. Okay, so set it up for us.
So we're in 1857,
Okay.
and 8 enslaved people escaped from a farm near Bucktown, Maryland, in Dorchester County. The villain of the story is a guy named Thomas Otwell, because he fell victim to one of the 7 deadly sins. The rewards on these slaves were $3,000 total. And he decided that instead of doing what he usually did, which was take them to the next station, he would take them right to the jail in Dover and collect the reward.
Oh.
So there was a big plan with the sheriff in Dover. The jail used to sit, it's not there anymore, but it used to sit right on the Dover Green. But it didn't really look like a jail. It was kind of a residence for the sheriff, and then they had some cells in it. So 2 things went wrong with Otwell's plan. First of all, he arrived super late. He was supposed to get there by 2 a.m. He got there at 4 a.m. The sheriff had gone to sleep. Second thing was, it was a really bright night with a full moon. And the hero of the story is a guy named Henry Prideaux. And he saw bars in the window here in the middle of the night.
So these guys
began to get suspicious.
They're thinking they're escaping.
They're
on the way
escaping,
out.
and they're going to the next station.
Okay.
But Henry Prideaux gets this idea that, wait a minute, something's wrong here, because he sees these bars on the window of the 2nd floor. So they all go in, but the sheriff's not there because he went to sleep. So they wake up the sheriff, and he comes out in his night clothes, and he just, come on in, everybody, everything's fine. But Henry Prideaux is suspicious, and they won't cooperate with him. So now, realizing that there's trouble, the sheriff goes back into his residential quarters to get his gun and come back out and try and arrest all these people. But Henry Prideaux isn't buying it, and he leads all the enslaved people into the quarters, where Henry Prideaux does this act that's like out of a Hollywood action movie. He takes the fireplace poker and he like spreads it all around so there's fire all over the room. He opens up a 2nd-story window and escorts all the other 7 people who had escaped in this group, the Dover 8, and they all jump out of the 2nd floor window. And meanwhile, the sheriff is trying to kill Henry Prideaux, but his gun jams, just like in like an old Western movie. His gun jams, and Henry Prideaux makes it out too. And he's the last one out, and everybody else is gone. But he finds his way north to freedom. Now the other people had, instead of going north, they had gone south because they didn't know what was north.
Sure.
They had just come from the south, so they went
back to what they knew.
And who did they run into but Thomas Otwell, the villain of the story? Now, my inclination would have been to, they didn't. They threatened to kill him unless he took them to the next station that he was supposed to take them to in the first place. And Otwell, that restraint saved all their lives, because Otwell did, in fact, take them to the next station. And then they all made it up to the north in freedom. All 8 of them made it up to the north in freedom.
What an incredible story. Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore, wowing us again.
Good.
With another one of your great stories. See you next week.